Yes, over to you, sir. Welcome to Tom. And standing room only at the back, so if you start to suffocate, let us know.
I've got a few spare sheets left still if anyone wants them. These are the worksheets for the session, so anyone? Yeah, just pass them on. Anyone else, they should be available. They're on the slide. Okay, so let's do the difficult introduction bit. I really need to get a more recent picture than that, don't I? I used to call myself an enterprise architect, and I realised that most people who call themselves enterprise architects aren't actually that much interested in the enterprise. So these days I just call myself a maker of tools for change. And I'll do a sales pitch, very brief. The difficulty of getting most of this stuff in technical form is so hard that I gave up and wrote it as a novel instead. But anyway. So, let's get going. If architecture is a skill, then how do we get better at it? Well, two short answers. First one you'll all know, but the other one is about continuous review, continuous learning, a systematic practice of learning. So, I probably can't help much with the practice. I'm actually quite adamant that enterprise architecture is something that you do inside an organisation. It's not something that someone will do to you. So we have to do it ourselves. So I can't help you with your practice. What I can do is give you tools to find the right questions. Everyone tries to sell you a solution to what's actually their question. But the hard part is to find your own questions, because when you do that, the answers fall out fairly easily. So, really simple way of looking at this. Anyone familiar with forming, storming, norming? That one? Yeah, well that's it. It's also known, the old Chinese model was wood, fire, earth, metal, water. It's essentially a cycle. So these are pretty much arbitrary labels, they work. But think of it as a cyclical process. Anyone suffered TOGAF? Yeah? Right. Phase A, the bit they forgot. Phase B, C, D. Phase E, F, G, phase H, most of which they missed out. We're dealing with that bit. So if you look at it in another way, architecture is always about people. It's not about numbers, it's about people. There's a definite sequence to it. Every time we go through an iteration, there needs to be a distinct question that we're working on. And it's cyclical, iterative, recursive, fractal. So you get examples nested within examples. If you miss stages out, horrible things happen. For example, if you go straight from here's the idea to let's go to do the plan, where do you end up with? Haha, fighting. If you rush straight from doing the project, the idea to let's do it, where do you end up? Fighting, even more. If you start saying that our strategy is last year plus 10%, and I'm not joking, I've actually heard a CEO say exactly those words, what you do is you end up running the whole thing backwards and you end up fighting. The bit that gets missed is the people bit. Don't miss it. So what we're dealing with is actually that bit. So we're closing the loop from performance. Performance is the end of the process we're doing, back to what the hell were we trying to do in the first place. If anyone's trying to take pictures, don't worry, you've got the slide next. Okay? I want to focus on the actual practice here today rather than just the theory bit. So, what we're focusing on is benefits realised and lessons learned. For those of you who've been through TOGAF, you'll know that its idea of lessons learned is what's the technology market doing today. What I want to do is what the hell did we learn from this and how can we do it better? So, US Army After Action Review, there's a precursor to this, which is what are we trying to do? Who are we doing it with? What was the plan? What did we actually do? For example, this is why things like action records become important. Otherwise, you don't remember what you did. And then finally, we're looking at what we did in order to get better for next time. So having got those precursors, the sequence that we're using is a modified version of the US Army After Action Review, which is established in, I forget how many industries, but anything that involves big change, emergency management, fire crews, forestry, oil platforms, anyone like that will use a variant of this kind of review. So what I'm saying is that we should be doing it in architecture ourselves all the time. So what was supposed to happen? What actually happened? What was the source of the difference? What can I do differently next time to do it better? What can we as a team do to do it better next time? Now, to understand what can we need to know who we is, which is why it's a precursor. You'll understand, for example, that stakeholder means person who's wielding sharp-pointed stake. It's not just the people who think they're important. There are a lot of stakeholders. How can we all do it better next time? So, 3 rules. We're always here to do it better because whatever it is, we can always do it better. No one's right or wrong. There is no the right answer. There is better. Second one, really important, pin your stripes at the door. If you look at the ranks in a military environment, all that the ranks mean is different responsibilities. If you frame that as responsibility, it becomes useful to look at that way. Okay? So everyone has equal responsibility. If the commander screws up, everyone's going to screw up. If someone down at the front end screws up, everyone risks screwing up. It's about everyone. And the other crucial one is no blame. We're here to learn, not to blame. Responsibility means how can I learn to do it better? It's not how can I be blamed. So CYA, cover your ass, does not help here. Yeah? So, here's the steps. What was supposed to happen? Before we do this, we need to have some understanding of what the hell the plan was. Yeah? Surprising how often this doesn't get recorded. Second one, yeah, so you derive that from the... We should be spending no more than about 10% of our time on that, in the review itself. Second bit, what actually happened. This is where things like cameras and so on become really useful because we don't have to think about the recording. We need to have tools, devices, all the sensors that help us to collect the information that we will need for what actually happened. Okay? Again, no more than about 10% of the time. Third one. What's the source of the difference? And important here, look at the difference between what was the plan and what actually happened. If we've got a plan and the records, we've got a difference, usually. But look for what went well as what didn't work. Most people have good risk management processes. How many people have good opportunity management processes? They're actually the same thing. If you don't look for your opportunities in the midst of the mistakes, then we're missing something. Next one. Given the difference between the plan and the action, what can I do differently to be more on purpose? Which of course requires that I understand what the heck the purpose was in the first place. How many times have you just been given something and said, this is the purpose? And you go, what? Just get on with it. True? Yeah? Painful memories? The other one is that it's not just about us. So yeah, finishing that one. And that's about 20 to 30%. You should be spending most of your time on these last two. What can we do better? The last one is, what can we do to learn to do differently? Because the point here is that we are working almost invariably as a team, not as individuals. So we've got to look at things like the team dynamics. How can we pass information between each other better? Where did you drop things? Where did things get missed? Where did things get caught that you didn't expect? Where are the easy parts that you thought were going to be hard? These are important. So improving working together as a team or collective. So what you've got is a worksheet, which actually has got all of these 7 bits in it. The who bit. What's the starting question? What was the team? What are we supposed to be doing here? What's the plan? What did we do? What was the difference between them? Where's the learnings for me and what's the learnings for my team? The other side of the sheet is just a very pale version of what I've just shown you. So it's there as a worksheet. So With the person sitting next to you, you're usually in rows of 6, so pairs is easy. All right? Choose, each of you choose something to work on. Just a review of something that happened yesterday, over the weekend, at work, whatever. Quick review, you've got about -3 minutes. No, we've done 10 minutes, right. So the whole thing is going to be 10 minutes each, just under. You've got 1 minute to say what was supposed to happen, right? You choose between you what A and B. A starts, right? So who's A? Right, put your arms up for A. Yeah, A, yeah. Right, so pick the person next to you if you're standing. This is just stand in twos, yeah? So, pick something where something was supposed to happen. What would you find?